Welcome everybody to today's lesson. I've been away for a little while, so I haven't been able to make any videos, but I'm back again, and yeah, I'm still selling the book. Now, I'm pleased to say that the physical version of the book is now ready. It's much more expensive, but it is now ready. So if anybody would like the physical version of the book, I'll put a link under the video in future, but this is a live class, so I can't do that now. But if you go to Amazon and you just type in visual phrasal verbs, that's how you spell it, you will find this book. It's available on Amazon for £50. I actually make a lot more profit out of the ebooks than I do out of this. This is not my profit, it's Amazon's profit, being honest. Most of it is printing costs and it goes to Amazon. But if you want the cheaper version, then you go to my website, skypelessons.com, and you can find the PDFs. You can just buy them for £20. You can buy the PDF of this for £20. So the e-version is £20 and the physical version is £50. I was going to split it in half and have two halves for a cheaper price, but I don't know really if that's interesting for anybody. So I'm not going to go through the bother at the moment, unless I get lots of people asking for just half of it for £30 or £35 or something like that. But the whole lot for £50, it's there on Amazon, and I'll put a link. But if you type in visual phrasal verbs on Amazon, you will find this book. Okay. And what we're doing today is phrasal verbs, and this is why it's connected to the book. And by the way, if anybody has already bought the book and they've had some problems, because I've had at least 40 customers already buy it, do get in touch if you've had any problems at all. Some people said that they didn't receive it straight away. Most people got it fine, no problems at all, but some people didn't. Well, that's no problem. Send me an email and I'll get it straight to you as soon as I get that email. So you won't be waiting 24 hours or anything like that. You'll be waiting an hour at the most. So we're doing phrasal verbs again. These are all from the book. They're from the course. The book does work in tandem with my lessons, and so you're bound to pick up a lot of new vocabulary if you do get the book. And so the first group is attack. And attacking in English is usually with the preposition at. Yeah, you can throw a ball at someone and then you want to hurt them. It's not like throw a ball to someone where you want them to catch it. Throw a ball at someone, it's aggressive and violent. The same with toss something at someone. And yeah, I have forgotten to put the something in there. Toss something at someone, throw something at someone, kick something at someone. You can kick a ball at someone as well if you intend it to hit them and hurt them. But you kick it to them if you're passing it. Yeah, if you're a football player and you're passing the ball, you kick it to them. But if you kick it at them, if one of the players kicks a ball at the referee, he'll probably get sent off. And you can shoot at somebody. Now, this isn't something. This is different, this one. Shoot at somebody, it means you're trying to kill them if you're shooting a gun at somebody. Or maybe you can shoot a bow and arrow as well. Shoot an arrow at somebody, but usually shoot at somebody. And if you shoot someone without the preposition, you hit them. But if you shoot at someone, you're aiming at them. So at is very often about aiming in some kind of way. Now, if you fly at somebody with a knife, or you run at somebody with a metal bar, or you come at somebody with a kosh, then you're attacking them in some kind of way. So these are all attack as well. And if you hit out at someone or lash out at someone, then it sounds like you're throwing punches at that person. And yeah, we can even say throw a punch at someone. So if you're hitting out at them or lashing out at them, you may be scratching, maybe even biting. You are attacking them in some kind of way. Maybe someone has attacked you, and so you're defending yourself. Okay, now all of the following are about coming together in some kind of way. So people can come together, people can get together for a family event. Perhaps it's some kind of festival and you come together to celebrate Christmas. Maybe Christmas draws your family together or brings your family together. So this one is transitive and this one is intransitive. Come is very often intransitive. I've mentioned this in other videos. It's in the book as well. Don't forget the book. Buy the book. And these ones, bring is very often transitive. Come intransitive, bring transitive. Very often that's the case for a lot of phrasal verbs. Now, if you gather people together or marshal people together or get some friends together, you get the group together. It's when a person marshals people together into a group. A person rounds some friends up. That would also mean to gather people together into a group. And you might be rounding some friends up because you want to rope them into some kind of activity. You might need help with something, and so you need to rope a few friends in. Technically, this last one means to involve someone, really, in something. Involve somebody in something. Okay? Sorry about my writing today, it's not so good. Okay, we're on to appear or seem to be. Now, if you pass yourself off as somebody, you pretend to be that person. You disguise yourself as that person. Disguise somebody as something. So it's very similar to that one, to pass yourself off as somebody. And if you can pass as somebody, you look enough like them for people to believe that you are them. So I'm a twin, and a lot of people might say I could pass as my twin brother if I had long hair like he does. I'd need a wig, basically, but then I think I could pass as my twin brother. Now, if you have someone down as something, I should put something there really, it's usually an adjective. But not always, it could be a noun phrase actually, noun or adjective here. So if you have someone down as a good man, it means you believe them to be a good man. If you mark someone down as a nasty piece of work, it means you believe they're a nasty person. And if you put someone down as a generous person, it means you consider them to be a generous person. These are very similar to the ones down here where you say, he strikes me as a good man. It's exactly the same, really. He strikes me as a good man, or he comes across as very polite, very pleasant. So he seems to be very polite, very pleasant. So that's a very useful one as well. Now, if you mistake somebody for a nice person and then you find out they're nasty, you've made a mistake. Yeah, you have made a mistake. So you can mistake somebody for someone, but you can also take somebody for someone. We often say, don't take me for a fool, and it means don't believe that I am an idiot. Yeah, don't take me for a fool. Yeah, don't mistake me for a fool, basically. And if you look on somebody as something, usually an adjective, I look on him, oh, but it could be a noun as well. It's not just adjectives, it could be nouns. If you look on someone as a shining example, you have a good example of a well-behaved person, then you admire them in some kind of way. And this one is very often used for positive ones. You could say all of his friends hold him up as a saint, but I know better. Yeah, something like that. He's not actually a saint. But all of these are kind of appear or seem to be. Now, responding to someone later, you can get back to someone basically by calling them back, and that's an obvious one there, call somebody back. But you can get back to them get back to them doesn't necessarily mean call them. It could mean write to them. It could mean speak to them face to face. So it just means respond to someone later. But if you follow up on a complaint, that means somebody has made a complaint and you're responding to that complaint. So you normally follow up on complaints, but you can also follow up on some feedback. You could follow up on something else. It means respond to that feedback, act on that feedback. Here's the next one, act on something. Respond to something, act on something. So somebody might give you some advice and you act on that advice. You respond to it, you listen to that advice and you follow that advice. So follow up on is usually when you respond to some kind of complaint, but act on means respond to when when you've had some kind of advice or something like that, you can even act on desires. Perhaps you have some kind of desire for something and you act on those desires. It means you follow them through, that you make sure that you get what you want there, what you desire. So quite a complicated one. And if you chase up somebody, that means that somebody has promised to do some work for you or some kind of task for you, but they haven't been in touch yet. So you chase them up. You say, have you finished that project that you promised to finish for me? Or maybe your suppliers have made you a promise that they'll get you some new goods for your business, and you chase them up and say, they haven't arrived yet. Can you make sure that that comes soon, please? Okay, if you just survive on something, it means you live on something. And it's down here, live on something. So you can get by on or scrape by on. That means just about manage to make ends meet, just about manage to survive. You might say something like this: when I was a university student, I got by on junk food. Yeah, I just about managed to survive on junk food. I scraped by on the small amount of money that my parents sent every week. Something like that. Or I scraped by on my wages. If you had a part-time job when you're at uni, you might say I scraped by on my wages. If you make do with something or settle for something, both of these are very similar, and it's when you do the best with what you have, usually, which isn't ideal. So you might go and sleep at a friend's house, but they don't have a bed, so you make do with the sofa. You settle for the sofa because it's the best thing around that you have, and you're doing the best with the little that you have. Okay, so quite common ones there. If you feed on something or live on something, then you survive on that something. So this is very often biological, and you might say that this particular parasite feeds on the blood, something like that. Now, parasites, I think, are even better for this one, because feed off or live off are exactly the same as feed on and live on. But in my opinion, we use this very often to mean in parasite fashion. So you might say that that guy he's a bad son. He lives off his parents' generosity. He feeds off his parents' generosity. He waits for money from his parents, but he doesn't do any work himself. So he's living like a parasite on his parents' generosity. And really, it's very similar to these two. These ones are very similar to these ones, but there's something parasitic, in my opinion, about living off something or feeding off something. It puts you in the position of a parasite. Okay, now deception. Loads of ones for deception. You can make out that something happened when it didn't really happen. When it didn't really happen. You can put on that something happened when it didn't really happen. And so you're deceiving people, you're pretending. Both of these mean pretend. You make out that, you put on that, you pretend that. Now, if you fall for something, you are tricked, and you have been tricked, and you fell for the trick. So you believed the trick was real. You didn't see through the trick. You didn't see through the deception. So fall for something is bad. You can fall for a trick, basically. Perhaps somebody tries to steal. Perhaps you receive an email that's a phishing scam, yeah, asking for your bank account details, and you fall for it. You put all your bank account details onto the internet, and some bad guy takes you into your bank details and empties your account. Now, if you are taken in by a trick, then you are deceived again. You fall for the trick. So you don't want phishing scams to take you in. You want to be aware of them. You want to look out for them on the email address and things like that. Now, do someone out of something, diddle someone out of something, cheat someone out of something. All of these mean cheat someone out of some kind of money, usually, but it could be an object as well. Somebody could diddle you out of your house if they're very crafty and somehow get you to hand over the deeds or hand over the document that says that you're the owner, and they change it so that they're the owner. Then they've diddled you out of your house. But you could be diddled out of your inheritance, something like that. I can see your comments. So there are many ways that you can be cheated, and if somebody mugs you off or rips you off, then they're cheating you out of money. Again, it's where somebody has ripped you off. You might say that you got ripped off just because you paid too much for an object, yeah, and you might say maybe you paid too much for your holiday and you say the travel agent ripped me off. Okay, so that's all I've got for you for today, but please don't forget the book. Please buy this book. It's been made for these lessons. And as I've said before, there's loads of pictures. As you can see, there's about 250 images. So there's plenty of pictures to help you understand the subtle nuances of these phrasal verbs. And you can see the answers are all at the back. It's a big book, so that's why it's unfortunately a large price. Hi Tanya, I know Tanya Shibitova. Hi Tanya, always let me know if you don't get what you pay for. Just send me an email and I'll send it straight to you. And I did see that you bought something from me. So just, yeah, send me that email. I figured that you got it fine because I thought Tanya will write to me straight away if she doesn't get any of those books. But please, anybody who sent me some money for a book and doesn't get the book, just write an email. It's I think you can put it on YouTube, you can put it on Facebook, you can put it on vk.com, or you can send it to my email, which you'll get from the website if you buy one of the books. So just get in touch with me if you've spent something. Okay, thanks Tanya. I did actually have some problems. I got bitten by a tick on the way back, so I've been to the doctors since I've come back, and I'm on some very strong medicines against tick diseases. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Please get that book. It's on Amazon already if you want the physical version, but there are other versions around as well. So if you want the electronic version, go to my website, and if it doesn't arrive for any reason, I guarantee I'll get it to you in the next hour. Just send me an email or put a comment on YouTube. There was someone who put a comment on YouTube and I sent it to them. Most of the time it's in people's junk email box, or they don't know which email is connected to their PayPal account, so they're not checking the correct email most of the time. But it doesn't matter. Just send me an email and I'll send you one straight back to, I can see the people that have paid, so it's no problem at all. Okay, thanks everybody for watching, and I hope to